Hi, my name is Dr. Larkin Sanders, and I am the Clarinet Instructor here at Washburn University. Today I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on how to successfully execute the excerpts from Weber's Second Clarinet Concerto as it pertains to your Kansas All-District and All-State auditions. Your first excerpt is in the slow movement of Weber's Second Concerto, and it's titled Romanza. But I want you to pay close attention to the title of this section. You'll see a little abbreviated word at the top of the page that says Recit. It's actually Recit, not Recit. And it's short for recitative, and recitative is an opera term that kind of means we've got some fun, expressive solo back and forth between the soloist and the diva on stage, and either the pit orchestra or the pit accompanist, whoever is accompanying the singers on stage. And bonus, in this excerpt, you, the clarinet player, get to be our opera diva. So you're going to want to channel your inner opera star while you're playing this excerpt. I know it seems really simple and kind of strange at first, but you can really have fun with it. The second most important thing about working on this recitative is to pace yourself and to work on the overall pacing of this excerpt. It's not all a single tempo. You'll see it starts at Lento, which means very slow. It's one of the slowest tempo markings we have from our Italian terminology. And then it goes to agitato, which is a cognate. It means agitated. And then to maestoso, which, as you might guess, means like majestically or powerfully or heavily. And then we come all the way back to molto adagio, which might be one tick faster than the lento where we started. So pacing is really important in this excerpt. So how do you know how to pace yourself? Listen to a bunch of recordings. There are tons of great recordings of this piece on YouTube and any streaming service you prefer. Otherwise, express yourself. Have a little fun with this excerpt. Your second two excerpts in this cycle are from the Polacca movement, which is the third movement of Weber's Second Concerto. Polacca means polka. So while this might not necessarily remind you of Lederhosen and fun dances, you do want to kind of channel that energy and have a fun time playing this Polacca. The first thing you need to do, though, is to set yourself up with a successful tempo. And that means picking a tempo where you make few to no errors while performing the piece. If that means you're playing slower than what you had imagined or slower than the 100 beats per minute that's advertised on the top of the page, that's fine. It's more important in these types of auditions that you play all your notes, rhythms, etc. successfully and accurately than it is to be brave and to try to play at a tempo that is too fast for you. After you've kind of settled in your successful tempo, the next important thing to worry about is your dynamic contrast. We have some really big dynamic contrast, even in this introduction of the Polacca movement, particularly in the third line, where we start to have this kind of dual voice situation. It's a little bit higher, and then we have these big low Fs, and then it goes up high again. The low Fs are forte, the higher notes are piano, and really, if it's hard for you to get from that low forte dynamic to that higher pitched piano dynamic, just make sure there's a contrast. Maybe it means you're playing fortissimo down low and a nice comfy mezzo forte up high. The important thing there is that there is a stark contrast between those two dynamic markings. My final tip for you is to make sure your technique is nice and even. And there are a lot of ways we can work on technique in a piece like this Polacca from Weber's Second Concerto. Of course, we want to practice everything slowly, and we don't want to work our metronome up too fast, too quickly. If that means you're starting at half speed, that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. Metronome markings are nothing but numbers, and you need to be able to pick a tempo that's successful for you. See how this is kind of coming full circle? Your technique will also become more even with the maximum of air you can pump into your instrument. So you really want to make sure that you are blowing as much air into your clarinet as you can at any given time, whether the dynamic level is pianissimo or fortissimo, you still want to have that same amount of air supporting your sound. Thanks so much for watching. Good luck on your auditions. May you play the most successful Weber concerto in your own personal history. If you would like to reach out to me for a complimentary lesson or to come visit our fabulous campus here at Washburn University, please do so with the contact information in the description below. Thanks so much, and I hope to work with you soon.